Hey, it is February the 15th.
15th.
Hope you had a good Valentine's Day. And no, we aren't a couple. We didn't celebrate Valentine's Day
Nope.
together because we were wearing the same shirt.
Nope. Only seen you a couple hours ago.
It's
First time.
just, we're just weird that way,
They're cute.
I guess.
Maybe
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
our mothers called each other this morning. Must have.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Anyway, welcome to Tech Talk, and we're going to talk about various subjects. Not sure where
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
think
go.
top of the line is always a normal security
Yeah.
of anything to
Yeah,
you
because
name
people
it.
are getting hacked on Facebook. Things are getting duplicated on Facebook. First thing I have up, though, is what do you do with your old stuff? You know, your
Yeah.
TVs, your computers, your hard drives, your batteries, fluorescent tubes, your CFLs, and all
Even
that
the
stuff.
the non-tech stuff. Light bulbs. We just need to get rid of light bulbs.
Yeah, stuff that uses
Yeah.
electricity. Anyway, check your local solid waste district. But Gallia County on March 18th has a day where you can bring stuff to the fairgrounds. All of this stuff, even paper that needs shredded.
Now you have to be that particular county resident, right? So
Right, you have to be a Gallia County
to
resident,
bring those.
and they probably will check your ID at the
Yeah.
gate. But lithium batteries, alkaline rechargeables, computers, cell phones, the fluorescent lights, electronics, which is microwaves, computers, monitors, televisions. There was a thing on TVs, if you bring more than 10, then you're going to have to pay $20 each.
More than
Wow.
10 TVs
Right, or monitors. They will.
is a lot of TVs.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well,
It is.
I recycled 20 one year, or 25.
So you just like let them.
And that was
stack up
before
for a
they
while.
made that rule.
Well, it's considered to be residential, and you
Yeah.
know the Soil Water Conservation District office is doing a good job, you know, spearheading this for our
Yeah.
county. And after all, because if they're not promoting something like this, it's going to end up in a ditch or over the bank, and
Right.
it gets to be a problem for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But, you
or,
know,
or hidden in a landfill.
right.
Sure.
You know, people will stash things.
But
and try to
normally
get rid
you
of
would take this stuff, if you wanted to transport it yourself, you would transport it to somewhere in Columbus.
Yep.
I'm not sure where it's at, but if you took a television to Columbus to recycle, you would pay $1 per
You were talking
diagonal
about
inch. So if you've got a
19,
40-inch,
20 bucks. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine some of those.
20-inch, $20, 40-inch, $40.
Yeah.
If you got two of those, you're talking $80 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So the solid waste district is taking care of those costs for you.
Can't beat that.
Right.
The university got involved in e-waste liquidation and recycling many years ago when we started to accumulate TV or computers that needed to be removed from campus. Our biggest challenge was the fact that on each of those systems comes a hard drive, and in the hard drive there's something.
Yes.
Do you want to send that to India or
If-
wherever?
Well, and we've all seen pictures in the Nat Geo and stuff of you know, kids sitting
Yeah.
there cooking stuff down in a hubcap and trying to remove the plastics and rubbers.
Yeah.
With our case, we have to have drives that are shredded and disposed of and receive a certificate of destruction. So we filled a boxcar, a full.
A train boxcar?
No, I should clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A truck, a box truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a power lift. And we had old UPSs that had blown out and old computers and flat panels. In the end, we got a check for $550.
Wow.
Now, it went all the way to Carrollton, Texas.
Yeah.
But the balance of it is that they got it out of our hair. They met us at the door, and we helped load it. But it left, and then a month later, there's a check.
Yeah.
But for me, knowing that I have a certificate that says
You're right.
that I think we've all seen you know, crime dramas where they you know, kill somebody, put it in the back of the car, and they throw the car into a shredder. Kind
Yeah.
of gruesome. That's what they do with
Yeah.
this waste. You
Yeah.
know, it all goes eventually to some place, and they just have mechanical shredding devices that just destroy
Eats it up. Yeah.
And if it's metal, it can be picked up with a magnet. If it's glass and other parts, then it gets sifted out and
Yeah.
then goes through the rest of the process. But knowing that those hard drives
Yeah.
or taken care of.
We had
No
hundreds and
personal
hundreds and
data,
hundreds.
no, yeah.
And the
can,
other
can
part,
be gotten from it. So,
Yeah.
the other part for me is knowing that there's, I don't know, but less like mercury and other toxic things like from batteries
Yeah.
hanging around in the landfill, possibly getting into the water
Right.
table
Good
and all
choice.
that
Yeah.
stuff. So,
So-
it's a responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
We applaud.
Congrats to the
applaud
county.
The Gary County, was it Soil Water Conservation District?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's March
Excellent work.
18th.
Great
And
job.
it's usually in March every year.
Is
Yep.
it?
So save it up and take it to there. They don't charge you anything unless it's a lot.
Yeah. A truckload of.
And even if
TVs.
you've got some, your bills and stuff that you want shredded, they have a
Oh yeah, paper shredder.
big shredder. It's not one of these little trash can deals. This
Yeah.
is like big shredder. Just munch all your stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more secure that way.
Can be done. Great.
You ever see the movie Fargo?
Yes.
You can get rid of a lot of things.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. You can. Wait. A lot of stuff. Absolutely.
So what's in the news?
Yeah. Go ahead. Start us off.
Well, seems like every month we see more and more scams. It hit our campus, and our staff was smart enough to not fall for the W-2 forms.
Oh yes, we
notice
were.
notice
Did we
came-
have that?
We
I
had
didn't
it.
get one.
Well, here's the way it happens. An HR department receives a spear phishing note. This time it comes in email, and it's from your president saying, hey, benefits coordinator, would you get all the W-2s and put them into a PDF and send them to me? But it's not your president.
It's not real.
And so if you do the forensics on the email, you find out that it came from some other location, and it's all forged. They're getting real good because they even knew our president's signature and sort of a little final closing
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
But we have systems in place where that person is going to walk down the hall, they're going to talk to the president.
First.
It happened in accounting. Please set up a transfer of funds to this account. No, we're not that
No.
bad.
Yeah.
And so in this case, that night I went home, and sure enough, it was on our WSAZ TV, and it's been in all the tech stories too.
Right.
So they're trying to get your W-2s so that they can file a fraudulent early tax return and get some money.
Yep. I know a couple of people that had that last year, and they had a heck of a time trying to, when they went to actually file their taxes, they were like, oh, it's already done.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now you, and then they had to, basically you lost all electronic availability. They turned to paper forms and everything else to verify certain things.
Well, we can get ours
So-
in an envelope from the Human Resource Department, but how does an HR department know who's really contacting them today when these people that are doing spear phishing can really craft a directed email that looks so authentic?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at to and from and date and the subject line, it's not there. It's hidden in the meta information on the mail header, and there's only a few people on campus that that do that sort of forensics. And I'm just glad that our two key departments, accounting and human resources, aren't gullible enough to fall for those. But most of our staff right now know of phishing. They'll send it to us. They say, this isn't real, is it? And you go, no. I mean,
Right.
it's bogus.
Right.
You did a good job. Throw it away.
Right.
Throw it
Yep.
away.
The
The
thing I do is just take my cursor and float over links or emails, or I'll click on the email and say copy the email and paste it somewhere. It's like, no, that ain't the right email.
Right.
And then
Not the right
delete.
address. It's a different address.
Right.
Yeah.
Or say if they tell me that there's a company like, hey, you owe eBay $20.
Yeah.
First I'll go look at, wait a minute, that address doesn't look quite like eBay. And then I'll go to eBay, log into my account, and make sure my account's fine. And not use that link.
Yeah. Don't use the link. Definitely not use the link.
And while you're there, change your password. on
Change.
it.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's always a good idea to do that. Absolutely. It's you
I know
can't
I've
change
heard-
your password quick enough these days. I don't think.
No, I take Christmas break and I sit down and I do every single account. And if it requires a 90-day change, then I use the month and the year in there somewhere, so that always changes.
Yeah.
Always changes. And
You got that crew out there?
yeah.
Yeah. So, no,
And you know,
Now we got to change everything.
I think we've said this
Yeah.
before, that there's a certain local bank that we didn't think had high enough security. They've changed their password policies. They're taking symbols and numbers and upper and lower case.
Right.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Hey, that's, yeah. Absolutely. What else we got in there?
Well, the RSA conference is going on in San Francisco this week, and these are some pretty heavy hitters in the security field. But
What's RSA stand for? Okay.
Dwayne, I'll
What do
let
they
you answer
do?
that one.
What
They do the encryption.
Yeah.
If you ever heard of a
Okay.
encryption
Token.
key or a token that you carry that says you're going to this website and it's doing an authentication and you have to type that in,
So
So-
S probably stands for security or something.
we'll go with that.
It's
And
it's
But
all
It's-
electronic in
It's
the
a group
background.
of people that figure out the encryption of how to get information to and from safely.
And being a short drive north of Silicon Valley, they get together in San Francisco.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the sessions, well, it was actually kind of informal, making fun of people that had gotten hit with ransomware. To recoup, ransomware is when somebody sends you a phishing email or a spear phishing, and you click on that. And as Mike mentioned, he checks his before he does it. You can immediately infect yourself and your computer, and all of your data gets encrypted. Not necessarily with an encryption key from RSA, but there are algorithms that will take your data, lock it up unless you have the proper decoding
Right.
phrase.
Another way that happens is, and this happened to my wife, which she didn't go too far. She did click it first and then called me going, "Hey, what do I do now?" I was like, "Oh God, you didn't." It's like, "Yes, you did." And she had to bring the computer to you guys and get it wiped. But what comes up if you're on your browser and you're clicking here and there, a page comes up and says, "You have a virus. Do you want to disinfect your computer?"
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then it's like, "Well, sure I do."
Yeah, fix
And
me.
then that's where you get it. Now, if that's my rule in that part is if you didn't ask for it, don't click it.
Right.
Shut down your browser, change your browser, something.
Take your finger, push in the power button,
Okay, that works.
That could be the best thing to do right there.
get your wits and your breathing under control, then call tech support.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can turn it back on and you've caught
And
it
you're fine,
early,
yeah.
in which case you don't have to shame yourself by letting us know. But
Yep.
just don't click yes, don't click no, don't close the browser, don't say okay or cancel. Turn off the power.
Just turn it
Right.
off.
Probably better.
We hope there's nothing.
But
bad.
don't do
Yeah.
it. If you didn't ask for it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. And the biggest ones I see today, the ones that I know have fallen for this scam, is shipping. They come in
I thought you were
FedEx.
going to say Patrick.
No, Al, no, not Patrick. and Patrick, I hope you get better.
Yeah.
You're getting
Fake FedEx
fake
notification.
FedEx. Yeah, and it's typically FedEx, and I don't know why. I
Because
have
they're
seen a few.
recognizable.
Yeah.
UPS,
and they'll make them identical
Post
emails,
office.
just like what you're saying. And the biggest time I seen it this last time was over Christmas. They really pushed them out a lot, and they said, "Oh, check your tracking on your package."
Good time of year.
And yeah, and absolutely. And I know a person that did that, and they clicked on it, but this just happened to be right after Christmas. And I said, she goes, "Well, I did a lot of shipping, this year. I bought everything online."
Well,
I said,
then I would go
were
to,
you
like,
expecting
Amazon.
packages?
I would go to Amazon and look at the tracking that direction.
Well, you would think so. But you're getting, you might be getting 15, 20, 30 packages coming in, but it's after Christmas. They clicked on the link, and then I said, "What, was you expecting packages?"
But
Well,
FedEx-
no, but I thought maybe somebody might be sending
FedEx
packages.
doesn't
I
have
could have
my-
sent you a king cake before
Yeah.
Mardi Gras with FedEx tracking, and you wouldn't have known from Amazon
Right.
that you were expecting.
No, it's not
but
from anything.
Does FedEx have your email? Probably not.
No.
Only if I
Only
put
if
it
you
in
went
there
and
so
got
that
it.
you could track your
Right.
shipment. It's getting complicated. I
It
mean,
is. It is so bad that anybody sends me links. I don't care if somebody sends me an attachment. Typically, I will either call them or send them another message that says, "Did you send this to me?"
That's a good way.
Unless that we're already communicating and saying, "Okay, I'm going to send you this link or something." Otherwise, I'm on there. "Hey, did you just send me an attachment?" because all it says is, here's the attachment.
Right.
And I'm like, Mike
Especially-
don't do that normally.
especially
you
if
know,
it's a
so I
zip.
don't normally, you know, so I am very cautious at that stuff. I watch a couple of, you know, these security things online in classes, and there's a few people, and I could probably, I feel that I could do it myself. Run without any antivirus, nothing on there, because I watch exactly what I do and where I click and things like that. I don't think I need it on my machine, but I have it on there just as a precaution. But I plan never to use it.
Do you use two-factor authentication?
I do
Do you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
when
And
it's available.
It's got me in
A
trouble.
lot of places still are not there.
Yep.
A little bit like Apple does it. You know, it'll send something to my phone if my computer logs into something.
Yep.
But the problem comes in where my Apple TV logs into my Apple account, and I can't put in, you know, it'll text like,
All
hey,
the
put
second
this in.
factor.
Well, there's no place for that.
Right. There's some things that doesn't. It'll screw up your two-factor authentication.
Right.
Like now, you know, Google can accept two-factor authentication, but in some devices that you use, you can't get that second factor in there.
Right.
I'll get
So
my
you
phone
can't get
out
it.
too. I feel like
Yeah.
you guys.
Well, it's out of the pocket.
So
But,
what,
yeah.
what two-factor authentication is where you go with your username and your password, and the site says, not done yet. And the two leading ways is to send a text message or to have you enter the security code.
Right.
And you can get a security code from an app that's on a mobile device.
Yep.
Authy's one of them. There's many other Google authentication. And typically when you set it up, you may be taking a picture of a QR code on the site, and then it says, okay, we know that you're communicating from this site, and then whenever you go to log in, you put in the numbers, and if you're at the office, if you're on your home laptop, you can say, always trust this machine.
Right.
So that
if you're on your device.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going back to shop on Amazon all the time, you're not hitting it twice.
Yep.
So I think one of the biggest dangers is when you have that box that pops up on your screen that says, remember me. Would you like, which if you're in the office and your office is secure and you're logging into this and you're logging into that, maybe. But if you're dealing with a secure system and not just, you know, doing your Amazon shopping or
Yeah.
whatever,
What do you think about cookies? Accepting cookies, cleaning cookies.
I enjoy baked goods.
Yeah.
I tend to use a private browser a lot. So, you know, whether it's a Command Shift P or you know Windows or Control Shift P, it will open up a private browser window. And especially if we're working with students and they come into our office and we help them with their email account, we open up a new browser, we put a private browser window, and we say, everything that we do is going to be flushed clean as soon as we close it with the X. And I would just as soon not have the tracking. Don't get me wrong, they're tracking everything I do. Everything I search for,
Right.
when I talk to my Google Home, it knows everything I said, so don't
Yeah.
get sassy with your Google Home.
Right.
And yeah, you give up those freedoms. But I really don't want my computer to hold a memory of everything that I did.
Right. It is just tracking you at that instant when you're using that private browser.
Yeah.
And then when you close it, it's gone versus in your.
And again, for us, I've already given up the paranoia part.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that I have maybe 2 or 3 identities, maybe different email accounts with the same company.
Yep.
But you go back to it and it wants to log you into the same one over and over and over again. And if you have roommates, and again, in an academic environment, roommates that are borrowing each other's laptop to check
Yeah.
their mail, it's always going to try to bring them back to the same one.
Same one.
Right.
Or if you're dual enrolled in 2 different schools, University of Rio Grande, Marshall, Ohio University, Shawnee State,
Right.
it's going to give you a real hard time if you know, I can't log into my email. It keeps wanting to take me to Shawnee. You say, well,
Yep.
you ought to transfer everything to Rio Grande. Never go back.
There you go.
So is that a good enough rundown of
That's perfect.
security here?
That makes very good sense, and that's a good start. Is always do that. Change your passwords. That's common. Yeah.
The one thing that we've seen after the holidays are people that have come in with Chromebooks.
Yeah.
And Chromebooks are an interesting animal. I think people understood that a phone's a phone and a tablet's not quite a computer.
Right.
But now we have a device that is a computer,
Looks like a laptop really well.
sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
And we did a webinar with Dell to look at the roadmap of the future, and they're producing a lot more Chromebooks because the educational market, K through 12, is real big on these devices. And so, well, what is a Chromebook? It's a Google operating system called Chrome OS operating system, and what it has for the schools is the manageability. They can create an account, they can put all the Chromebooks in there, and anytime they want to, they can have them update, they can flush them, and have a lot more manageability. They almost always need to have the internet available so that they can do things, because all of their apps are based in the cloud, so they're using Google Docs in this case. But the newest ones have the ability to download Android apps like you would for an Android phone or
Right.
a tablet. So you could get all the Microsoft Office, OneDrive, and connections to Outlook web app. So it doesn't exclude you from doing those things, but it's not a Mac OS, it's not a Windows OS. It's just one more different animal to try to wrap around and figure out.
What kind of like typing programs and stuff does it have? Is it its
Well,
own thing?
It
or-
has Google Docs,
Yeah.
and it has
You-
Sheets.
You won't be able to use Word.
Yes,
But you can
can.
probably save
Well,
with Word,
yes,
right?
Yeah, you
can.
can. I guess you can in the cloud, yeah.
You can use the browser to go to the
To
Office
Office
365,
365, yeah.
or you can download the Android Word app
Yeah.
and the OneDrive app and the Excel app and the PowerPoint app. But they're
Yeah,
not
now, you
applications.
didn't used to
they're
be able
apps.
to, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
the newest ones all have the ability to install Android apps from the Android Play Store.
But a lot of times, even though they say they download, sometimes it still needs that connection to pull down the
Authenticate
extra.
it, or-
Well, maybe not to authenticate, but bring down the extra plugins or things like that. Some,
Can I run TurboTax?
Yeah, because TurboTax is online.
Yes. Can I use the DVD that's in the back of my textbook?
No,
No.
no,
Because it doesn't have a DVD drive.
no DVD drive.
Well, even if you had
Yeah.
a DVD, even if you had an optical drive that you could plug in, the software is typically written for Mac or Windows. And this is not a Mac or Windows. Unless TurboTax had an application in the Play Store,
Right,
you would have to do it in the browser.
right. In the Play Store, iTunes, yeah.
Well, not
Yeah.
iTunes on
Not
a,
iTunes on a Chromebook.
Right.
Right. Yeah. But in those stores.
Sure.
To where if we're kind of comparing it to an iPad, because that's kind of the I call them the equal. The iPad and the Chromebooks.
The iPad
is that
Pro
way.
with a keyboard
Right.
looks like an awesome machine,
Yeah.
but it's not priced in the same ballpark. as
No,
a
not even
Chromebook.
close. Not even close. Yeah, the pricing is like boom.
Yeah.
But
Make
but
that
as far
sound.
as that,
Is a
they're-
Chromebook touchable screen?
There are models
Some.
in this generation that are touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old generation, which were sub $300 machines, I mean,
Yeah.
really, really inexpensive, didn't have
Yeah.
touch. But
Okay.
yeah,
I haven't been shopping.
Well,
for
a
that.
lot of the bigger manufacturers like HP and Dell are now making those, to where before some of the other ones, it seems like a little lower end machines were making them. So,
Samsung was a big manufacturer of the
at the
early
beginnings, yeah.
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 So I think, just when you thought you had it under, in your head that you wanted to have
We have another OS.
Yes. Yeah. So what's the difference between a Google tablet? Let's say you're using a Samsung Odyssey,
Okay.
or going to the bookstore, to Barnes and Noble, and getting a Nook,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
which is basically the same.
it's the same. It's just the different interface at the beginning.
It's a
Is
logo
that-
on the
Yeah,
cover.
it's
a-
yeah.
Is that
pretty
the same
much,
as
yeah.
the Amazon Fire?
Well, in
little-
this case, they're both
Yeah, I
they're
know.
both Google OS. They're both
Underneath.
They're both Androids. But what's happened is Barnes & Noble says, you make us a couple million of those, we'll put our top branding on it, and the first thing that opens up is going to be the Nook browser, not the
Right.
Kindle browser. Or I shouldn't say the browser, the reader.
Yeah,
Right.
The reader.
Yeah.
So it just gives them one more
Yeah.
place to sell it, which you know,
But underneath, they're all Android.
they're all Android.
Everything's Android.
Android.
Yeah, I was just thinking, we've got one more minute left. That
Oh, my.
Seriously?
Man,
Yes.
this day has gone quick.
yeah,
All right.
just another 10 years looking back at this show.
Yeah.
Because it's going to live forever. I was just thinking, back in the day, when I had a Mac SE, we had a thing called ErgMug, University of Rio Grande Mac Users Group, and they would make a floppy disk full of little programs that you could play on your Mac, and the things we talked about back then.
You
And there
used
was
to
no
get-
internet then.
You used to get shareware on the rack,
Yes.
you know, at the stores.
Yeah. Right.
and how old we're going to look then.
Yeah.
We already look old.
Look at these cavemen now.
Well, public bulletin boards used to have all the software for download too.
Right,
How far we've come. Everything's online.
Yeah.
And in
No
the
more
cloud.
bulletin boards.
right.
It's
So
all going to be gone.
recycle your stuff and call your local solid waste district and see where you can do that, because it's the responsible thing to do.
Right.
So thanks for watching the February edition of Tech Talk, and we'll see you next month.
See ya.